There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition. It lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call this episode Terrifier. So the guys wanted me to write a little message because I really wanted to be on this episode, and it was just not possible on my end. So instead, they asked me to write stuff, and I started to write stuff, and then I forgot about this project. So what you're going to get is equivalent to a pretty much innate thought, which is usually about half full, half empty. So without further ado, here are my thoughts on Terrifier, abridged. Every so often, a film comes around that makes an impact on society. Jurassic Park, Avengers, John Wick. In recent horror years, we have been craving a new horror icon. We have Ghostface, but he's almost 30 years old at this point. We have Jigsaw / Billy the Puppet, but that's not quite the likes of Freddy, Michael, Jason, etc. Slashers have always been in a weird position in this day and age. In Halloween 2018, we even have a student comment on what's so scary about a guy with a knife. After all, kids these days have to worry more about being shot by a fellow classmate rather than be fearful over a stranger in a mask. I get why this is hard to tackle in horror. Then in 2016, a small horror film dropped called Terrifier, and word of mouth spread like a wildfire. Anyone interested had to see what the commotion of this new horror movie was all about, including myself. Little did I know that in 2018 or 2019, whenever it was I saw this movie, one Art the Clown would become a new arch nemesis for me. Of course, I've never seen a woman hacksaw to death from vagina to head, and it's over the top bloody kills. However, a movie that was praised and praised left me wondering, did I watch the same movie as everyone else? The acting was exactly what one would expect from a small slasher. It's piss poor, but not even entertaining in a fun, bad way. It's just bad acting, like all around, except for David Howard Thornton. He's the only thing that's like saving this. And that's until you see like one of his short things, like that Joker video where he's talking. Not good acting. I didn't like it. Don't let that man be Joker. Actually, you know what? Don't let anyone be Joker for the next 25 years. I'm tired of Joker in movies. God, they had one job in the Batman. They still had to force the Joker on us. Anyway, Art the Clown is our villain. And of course, he's a clown because evil clowns are so edgy. Art is brought to life by David Howard Thornton, and the man takes nothing and turns it into something. There is nothing here for Art. He simply exists and kills. It's so simple you would think an 8-year-old came up with the concept of scary clown kills people. And who brought us this new icon? Damien Leone, a man whose only movie I'd seen before Terrifier was Frankenstein versus the Mummy, a truly bad Redbox rental from a very boring Saturday night. I'm fairly certain he owes me $2. I don't remember if I rented the DVD or the Blu-ray, but you know what? Inflation as well, and the time that I've spent with two more of his movies, he owes me about the same amount of money that Zach Baggins owes me. Somehow, Damien has crafted a new horror franchise in this modern era. His writing leaves more to be desired, and his films play more like an audition tape for studios to hire him for his practical effect works. Why else would he make such a movie with little to no story that makes any sense, even after a 2.5 hour sequel that still leaves you wondering what the hell is this man even doing behind, I don't know, not a typewriter. I think he just writes his scripts on a BlackBerry at this point. What we get in Terrifier is a movie with no soul or heart. It tries its hardest to overcome the slasher tropes, but in doing so leaves me rolling my eyes over and over again. Whether it's Art the Clown using a gun, or a quote-unquote final girl being killed off and still having what feels like an eternity to get to the finale. Terrifier is what happens when horror fans are craving gore but do not care for anything else. We have a lazy villain starring among flat characters that leave nothing memorable except a vagina meeting a hacksaw. Sadly, even when the bar is so low to the ground for slashers, even the smallest hop will entertain the masses, it seems. There is nothing redeemable to be found in Terrifier. It's not funny because of how cringe / edgelord it is in being quote unquote shocking. There is no story to be found as to why art does art things. We have a movie with no identity and only shock value. For some, that's more than enough. For myself, it's everything wrong with the horror community in the modern age. Short attention span fodder with nothing to give us except a head scratch as to why did this become a franchise. And it's because of this franchise now Mickey Mouse and everything else is a serial killer. So it's done everything I did not want out of horror, just like Ari Aster with Hereditary and stupid art films where trauma is the real monster. Or that one movie where I watched the monster and it was not a monster, it was actually alcoholism. That was the quote unquote bad guy. So yeah. Well, can't win them all. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this latest episode of Give Me Back My Horror Movies. We got Parker from Dissect That Film to special guest on this at the last minute. And I can't wait to hear this episode, just like the rest of you. So, Charlie, roll that beautiful bean footage.
How about a bumper sandwich, booger lips?
One thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires. Shut up!
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
I don't know what the hell's in there. It's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
Jason's alive. He killed my friend, now he's coming for me.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Bastards. Why are you torturing me like this? Why?
Well, I'll tell you. Nobody handles garbage better than we do.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Give Me Back My Horror Movies. I'm one of your hosts, Anna. Tonight we are kicking off a very, very exciting, wonderful, chaotic, and painful month with the month of chaos returning. Let's meet everyone in the room. First up is a very disgruntled Charlie. Say hello, Charlie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm redoing the workbook, the employee manual, and getting the rules. I thought that we're ironed out with rule number 1 being no fucking clowns. Rule number 2, see rule number 1. Yeah, no fucking clowns. I'm here. Oopsie.
Happy to see you, Charlie. Next up, we've got Pete himself. Welcome, Pete. I think you're going to be kind of my middleman here.
I'm a lot less disgruntled than Charlie. I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to see all your wonderful faces.
Yeah, always happy to see you as well. And we have a guest. I had to bring in some backup. We originally thought Nate was going to join us, but sadly he could not. So I knew.
Bailed.
Yeah, so I was like, damn, I cannot have Charlie and Nate on my ass. So I need to find backup. And tonight we have Brett Parker from Dissect That Film here to back me up. Hello, Parker. Welcome back.
Hi, guys. I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy to see Charlie in pain since he wanted to throw Hulk Hogan in my face. Now I get to watch him talk about a clown for however long.
I don't trust this guy because I only just now found out his name's not Parker, okay? So I don't trust this guy. A lot of underhandedness going on around here, and I'm not enjoying it. Rule 3. Real names used at all times.
I mean, it is my real name, just not in the order you thought.
It's in a different order.
Okay.
Well, if you guys heard on the episode last week, yes, Month of Chaos / Wheel of Pain is back. And we did not reveal on the show what was coming up. You had to go to Instagram to find that out. If you didn't do that, one, shame on you. Two, you're finding out right now that the podcast god smiled upon me and gave me the pick to end all picks.
Pretty much.
A little movie that Charlie said they would never cover on the show. And here we are. We are covering Terrifier, you guys. And I'm so excited.
Ooh.
Charlie, did you get a trailer for us?
No.
He's not even doing his job.
Yes. I got a fucking trailer for the fucking movie. Here it is.
What if the guy did this to your car?
What guy? The clown? You really think someone slashed my tires?
Well, he knows this is your car. He saw us getting into it earlier.
Hey, handsome! Cut it out. My friend wants your number.
Kill you.
What is it, Tara?
Dawn and I are sort of stranded. She has a flat tire and no spare, and I was kind of hoping you could pick us up. What the hell is wrong with you?
What, did you think he was gonna hack me up into little pieces or something?
That was a good trailer. I don't think I've ever watched the trailer.
It cut off early. There was a piece at the end.
Oh, was it?
I bet there was. I wonder what happens.
I don't know. It was just weird.
Oh,
crazy.
Gosh. Okay, guys, let's get into some history. We're going to start with our guest tonight. Parker, when did you first watch Terrifier? Did you start with this one, or did you kind of come in later on and catch up once it blew up?
So I joined late. I actually saw this around the release of Terrifier 2. And I think I actually watched the kill count on this before even watching the movie itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a big Dead Meat fan, so I usually and half the time I don't care,
Same.
especially with certain movies. I'm like, I'll just watch the kill count. I don't need to watch the movie right now. But when Terrifier 2 came out, I was like, I really want to watch I have to watch things in order. So I wanted to see the full movie, and I'll save my thoughts on like what I thought of it, but like it's a good build up for what 2 and 3 continue with, especially with like the lore and what they could do with effects and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm fairly new to the franchise. I did not see this until very much after it came out.
Nice. Very nice. Pete, what about you?
I came, what was this, 2018? It came out?
2016.
16. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I think this was one of my COVID movies. It's like, okay, what's next? And of course I heard about it. I heard the practical effects were juicy.
That's one word to describe it.
Yeah. And it was, I think it was streaming on Tubi at that point.
I can't stand him.
So, I watched it before 2 came out. I saw 2 in the theater, and I've seen 3 at home. So, that's all I got. Not a whole lot of history with it. This is the second time I've watched it. So there you go. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right, Charlie. When did you first watch this? You had seen 1 and 2, I believe, before, right?
I've seen 1 and 2. So kind of like Parker, the hype of 2 started circulating, which then put this stupid movie on my radar. And I went, it's on Tubi. It's free. Fuck it. As much as I hate clowns, a lot of people were like praising it, and all of our friends and podcasts were covering the first one. And
Right.
I sat down one day in the office and watched it and just went, well, this was utter and absolute garbage, and I hope I never have to watch this again.
Little did you know.
Yeah, little did I know. And then I watched part 2 and went, yep, same shit, different package, and I haven't bothered to watch 3, even though I've got it somewhere on a hard drive. And I've just been like, I don't even want to watch the third one. So I found out about this way too late, and I fucking hate clowns, so it was not doing it any favors making it a clown. So that's my history.
Why do you hate clowns? I don't think I know this.
Why wouldn't I? How can you look? How can people look at a clown and go, I like that? When I look at a clown, I'm like, you're fucking weird, and you're from hell, and you need to go away. It's like a cockroach running across the floor. Do we go like, oh, look at that little guy. I like that guy. No, you want to stomp it and kill it. Same with clowns.
Well, that's fair.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, my history is very similar to all you guys. Same, like Terrifier 2 was coming out, and I was seeing ads for it everywhere. And I was like, what is this? And obviously Terrifier 2, you know, there's a first one. And then there's the All Hallows Eve. That's kind of the very first part of art. And I ended up watching that later on. I didn't get to see 2 in theater just because it didn't even come anywhere near me. I was surprised that we got Terrifier 3 opening weekend. And I did get to see that in the theater. So that was fun. But Charlie, I'll say this. Watch 3. At least give it a chance, because I will say right now, Terrifier is the worst out of all of them. This one is the worst out of all of them.
You know, I've seen 2, right?
Well, 2 is better, but too long.
Oh, it's way
3
too long.
is three is like a slasher masterpiece, in my opinion.
Let me stop you right there. Those words in same sentence, no.
In my book, yeah. Mm-hmm.
No.
I think so.
No. I want. There is one thing I meant to say before we started recording, and we'll say it now so the audience understands. I have not watched All Hallows Eve.
I haven't either.
When we talk about this movie, I want to keep it in the scope of Terrifier, not what we learn later, and not what may have been gleaned from All Hallows Eve. Put this one in a box.
I'm on your side there, Charlie. I want to talk about Terrifier. I don't care to talk about the other 2, except they are both way, way too long.
I mean, you can kind of do that to a certain extent, but I mean, I was going to touch on All Hallows Eve because it's the same way with like any sequel. You can't just talk about a sequel and not mention the movie before it.
But All Hallows Eve isn't a sequel. Or this is
it's
All Hallows Eve.
And to be honest, I don't even...
It's
All
not
Hallows Eve
canon,
really
I
doesn't
didn't think.
connect to this. It just introduces art as a character, but not.
And I'll allow it.
I mean,
no,
yeah,
it's okay.
I mean, it's just there's something you find out in All Hallows Eve that I guess technically fixes for some people Terrifier, the supernatural end of it. And because I never saw that, it's one of my bitches about Terrifier is how they've retconned him at the end of the movie, basically. But then you find out, well, it was kind of alluded to in All Hallows Eve, but it's not even David Howard Thornton either as
correct
art
it's a different actor.
in All Hallows Eve. So I was just trying to make, because I didn't bother watching it. I probably won't ever watch it. You know, now Pete hasn't seen it, so I wanted to just try to keep it as if we had just all watched Terrifier, and we're coming here to talk about it without any like what they try to fix in part 2, what they do better in part 3, to keep it in this one where it's like, this sucks, basically.
Well, I mean, it just sucks to you, so that's why you want to keep it in a box, and that's fine.
Well, nothing in the other 2 fixes it. It's just... So
yes, it does, because he builds every piece of lore he has started. He did All Hallows Eve not thinking it was going to be anything. And the reason somebody else plays David Howard Thornton is because he was literally just Damien Leone's friend. He's never acted before or since All Hallows Eve.
Yeah, he like full out retired after doing that. Like he never did another acting role or something like that.
And so then, like, once they actually had funding and they were actually going to make Terrifier, then they put out casting calls. sequels. And David Howard Thornton, that's how he got hired. But I don't know. It's just
I'm going to say it right now. My biggest bitch with this movie is the story is non-existent.
Yeah.
Like,
because he builds on it in every movie.
But it's not even building on it. This movie makes zero sense.
This movie doesn't have much of a plot. It's serial killer chases, like just serial killer does serial killer things, because Art is just a serial killer in this movie. He's not the supernatural being you would later see in the sequels. I'm sorry to do that already, but like he is, like, you even see it in the beginning when he is getting ready, like he is preparing himself to go out and do what he does best.
On.
Yeah. So I agree with Charlie, the fact that like when you get to but I agree with you, Charlie. Like when you get to the end, you get to that supernatural stuff, you're like, huh?
The fuck? Yeah,
why?
Literally.
And you're trying to rack your brain, but and I get it on Anna's point that there is lore from the other one that does make a little bit more sense. But I didn't see All Hallows Eve until after I saw Terrifier. Actually, I saw Terrifier 1 and 2, and then I was like, Terrifier 3 hadn't been a thing yet. And one day I was just like, you know what? I'm going to watch All Hallows Eve. And the funny thing is there's two, it's like an anthology, and there's two of them. There's two Art the Clown segments, and they look, both versions of Art the Clown, and the completely different. One of them is just a dude. Yeah. He's just a dude that it looks like he's cosplaying as Art. And then the second version looks more like what we see in Terrifier. And it fits more of Terrifier.
I'm meaning this not to take away anyone's arguments. That's not what my intention was. It's just a lot of people went, wait, there's a prequel to this? Like I did it, and a lot of people that were even like hyped to watch Terrifier 2, they were finding out like, oh shit, there's a whole nother story with Art in it. And it's just, and no one, like, I don't know. I've not listened to any like interviews with Leon, whether or not he's like, yeah, everything that happens in that is technically canon, or we threw that away and just took Art as a character and we brought him over here. But my biggest issue is, and we can start with it because the movie starts with my biggest issue in this entire movie, is the fucking timeline. Art is watching something happen that we see during a television interview about this lady that's disfigured, and he's watching it, putting his weapons together that he uses throughout the movie. But then yet at the end of the movie, we find out that all that has all happened already and is now the beginning of the movie. And I'm just,
he's not gonna stop killing though, just because that happened.
No. I mean? It's not that he stopped killing. So the movie starts with the lady that's disfigured, which we find out later, which is the sister, Victoria.
Yeah, the end is the beginning.
The end is the beginning. But the beginning, he's watching the end. He's watching that interview on the television because he kicks it. He kicks that TV. And you could be like, well, that's after. Well, then he goes and makes the cat of nine tails that he uses in the kills in the movie. So the timeline is fucked from the get-go with this. It's like, where's the actual beginning and end of this? Like, you can't, is it a time loop? Is it fucking Krampus where they're stuck in a, snow globe and Krampus shakes it and Christmas happens all over again? It's nonsensical, basically, whenever it comes down to it. And like I said, that's aside from it being a clown, which that, I can amp that up because it's me, but the story, it's just like, where does that fucking fit?
If they got rid of him reacting to that TV, I think the start of it being the interview would have been fine without him showing up and kicking the TV and then it transitioning to him prepping. Because I agree with you, Charlie. If there was a clear transition to then show me, like, how long it was, like a year, right? That she was
after
the whole incident, it was like a year or something. Yeah. If it was like a jump, like a year later, then it shows him prepping, or a year before, or whatever. It would have. I like I said, I enjoy this movie, but I can agree on like certain aspects, and I get it. This movie was made for like $30,000. Like, the thing is this movie is a showcase of the special effects that Leone could do, because to Charlie's point, this movie has no plot. Like, the plot is like paper thin. It's literally killer chick kills people in creative ways. And to be honest, David Howard Thornton is magnificent as freaking Art the Clown. The fact that he is so good at it's all body acting. He literally speaks no words. And so to keep you that's what keeps me engaged in this movie is David Howard Thornton's performance as Art the Clown and the ridiculous effects work. It just shows that practical effects are fucking king. All right, sorry.
I think that's why a lot of no, you're fine. I think that's why a lot of people come to this, because the people who enjoy The Thing and movies like Society and Reanimator and gory shit like that, the old movies that we grew up on that are kind of a foundation for this show, if you will. I think those same traits are showcased in this film. That is what makes horror great. And what someone can do with $30,000 is the plot paper thin. Yeah. But you know what? Some of the Jasons are fucking paper thin. Some can be the fucking Chucky movies, all these slasher movies. Not all of them are great. Sorry, Parker. Get over it. Sorry. So Art the Clown is like, you can't necessarily shit on some of the stuff in this movie just because a clown is doing it when other movies that you enjoy do the same thing.
Well, you brought up a topic that I wasn't sure when this was going to come up, but I've been dying for this one. We have our all mutual friend Dustin loves to throw this at me when I bitch about Terrifier. He goes, "You love Jason movies. It's basically the same thing." And I'm like,
I disagree with that. But go ahead.
Yeah. Because I'm going to look at you and go, okay, yes, they're a little over the top on gore. Sometimes the stories are a little thin, but they were paving the roads for horror. David Howard Thornton only needed to follow the road of horror and maybe add an extra twist or an extra turn somewhere. If this movie had been 45 minutes of look what I can do with $30,000, make a nice, simple to the fact, Art shows up, terrorizes two girls, terrorizes them in the warehouse / bunker, wherever the fuck they are. I still don't know where they're at.
It's technically a rundown apartment complex.
Okay.
That's what it was
I've
described.
Heard that. I've heard that multiple times. So if you eliminate the entire TV, beginning, eliminate Victoria, eliminate baby lady, and just give me terrorizes two girls, kill some extra guys that show up, knock it out in 45 minutes, this movie would have been awesome. Regardless of a clown. I would have been like, cool, I want to see what you do later. But he took it too far. He then decided this needs to be an hour and a half feature. And now I have to figure out how the fuck do I take 45 minutes and now put a story behind it. And it feels that way. And
instead of filling it with a story, he filled it with
that's the thing.
gore,
this was a short film. And then this is because of the popularity of the short film, it became what we got. And like I said, it's I think I've read the fact that Leone literally stated that this movie is just it's a special effects showcase.
Yeah, and
it's to prove what he could do.
And he has said too that he regrets in this movie not fleshing out the characters more. But I mean, you're absolutely right, Charlie. Jason and Michael and all them, they did pave the road. But I think what Art and Damien Leone are doing now with movies like this is they're continuing to pave the road for next generations, because I don't think the idea is to stay stagnant. I think it's to grow and continue to build on what the founding fathers of horror did before you. And I think in that regard, they're nailing it.
I tend to agree with you on that, Anna. I really do. And I think this may rub some people the wrong way. And I'm sorry if it comes off that way. But this is one of those situations where I feel like this movie was touted to be better than it was by people who were just hungry for something what they thought was new or different, even though it's the exact same as everything else we've gotten. Like, I don't agree with Art being the next horror icon. Like, I don't think he's there yet. Like,
I think he is after 3. He is, though. He is. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he is to certain circles, but I mean, I've been like, this movie for sure is not ranked very high, even though people talk fondly about it. Like, I've got a buddy of mine, J-Man, which is one of the reasons I watched this movie, because he has bought everything that's Terrifier that's came out. The special edition comes out, every video, he's gotten their autographs, all of it. He loves it. And it's just like, it's not that good though. He goes, I don't care. And I'm like, if you don't care, it's not that good. You're admitting that it's not that good. So it's like, you're just propping something up that isn't great. You know, like, it's not Freddy. It's not Jason. We've had clowns before. David Howard Thornton is amazing in this movie. I want to get that out there.
This guy can do movies.
He can do more with 0 words than some people can do with hours of dialogue in a film. I mean, I am actually blown away by his acting. What do you think about that, Pete? You've been awful quiet. I gotta drag
he's got his popcorn.
I'm just taking it all in. David Howard Thornton, I got to meet him at All Monsters Attack a few years ago. Sweet guy, very tall. Very tall.
He is tall.
He's Charlie tall, but half the size of Charlie in every regard. Just tiny, skinny man.
Yeah, like a Doug Jones type.
Yeah, very much so.
Very much.
Lanky.
He says 1,000 words without speaking a single one. And we just rehash this over and over again with his performance. I found it astounding what he could do with his face. I mean, he kind of did a horror version of Jim Carrey, The Mask, right?
I mean, to a degree, yeah, I think I'll agree with that.
My favorite thing about his acting, and maybe the script also, probably not really the script, but probably more focus on his acting, is the amount of jokes he told without, waka waka waka
saying anything.
There were some genuinely funny things that happened in this movie that I was not expecting the first time I watched it, and I enjoyed it much more the second time I watched it for this show, because I was ready for it. I'm like, oh, okay, this isn't gonna, because that first time I watched it, it made you a little unsettled. Like, he's laughing, he's doing this, he's not screaming in pain, and the way he's eating that girl's face is kind of funny too, and that's morbid thinking, but that really that added so much to his performance, and this new horror icon. God, Charlie, I disagree. This is a new horror icon. This is the biggest icon since Ghostface.
Hey, do you know David Howard Thornton, Pete, you'll like this. He said he was inspired by actors such as Jim Carrey, like you mentioned, Lon Chaney, Doug Jones, Charlie
Nate,
Chaplin.
go look up who Lon Chaney is.
And Buster Keaton. Yeah, he's still on.
What?
He
I know.
I think he does now, but last week he didn't.
It's a whole thing, Parker.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing, Parker. And I wanted to make sure I got that out here, that I'm not, I don't like clowns, okay? But I think David Howard Thornton nailed it. I will admit, when he busts out that stupid squeaky horn as his way of yelling in this movie, that did make me laugh. I was like, that's funny. And then, part of me wants to feel bad, because I know Damien Leone, this is like him early on. This is him cutting his teeth.
Yeah.
It's the fact that people pumped it up so much that I'm way more critical about it, because it's just, so the gore effects in this movie are great, because I love good independent horror movie gore. Those guys get into it just like John Carpenter had to. And, all these guys, real effects, real things happening on screen. I think there's some decisions that are made that are a little, questionable as far as kills that go in here or believability. And I use that term loosely, but things to make it not seem silly. My issue with this is, and I noticed it on my second watch, Art is not acting for anyone but the audience. It's as if he knows the audience is watching him, and shit he's doing is not sometimes even to terrify the victim or anyone around him. It's him looking at the audience without actually looking at the audience and doing crazy shit. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really care for that. Like, I want you to terrify these people that you are after. This is called Terrifier. Let me know that they're terrified. And I never really feel terrified because
boy, I did the first time I watched it.
Really?
Yeah. And honestly, it's not even as grotesque and extreme as the gore is. It's him, like, just as soon as he locks in on a victim, that's his target, and he's not going to shy away from that. But like when they're sitting in the pizza shop and he's just sitting there staring at them, man, that shit freaked me out the first time I watched it. Anybody, it doesn't have to be a clown. It could be somebody who just looks weird, giving me a stink eye in a booth, just staring at me crazy. I'm going to get creeped out. And he is so unsettling. The first time I watched it, I felt so unsettled. And Pete, you described it perfect the other day when you said, this movie's mean. Like, it really is. Yeah. It's at the heart of it. It's just a mean movie. And I think that goes back to the effects and how gruesome and grotesque it is. And they are. But I think later on, he's taken these criticisms and gotten better. And I think that's, this is one of those movies or trilogies, franchises where the first one is not the best. And unfortunately, I mean, that's just the way it is with this one. But I'm not going to come in and put Terrifier 2 or 3 on the wheel. I'm going to start at the beginning. So here we are.
Well, and that's fair, because if we were going to have to talk about it, I feel like you have to be able to talk about this, because you can't be excited about what he does later without this movie. It's just, to be a horror fan and to watch this movie and you just, I'm trying to think of the right words. I don't want to really straight out, flat out just insult people. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be somewhat tactful about what I'm saying, but a lot of his decisions in this movie don't make sense or just extremely childish. Like, Art smearing shit all over the bathroom.
That's one part I don't like. I don't think that's cute or funny or
and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't drive him as a character. It doesn't mean he's going to kill someone with shit later. Like, if you'd at least done that, maybe I could be like, okay, now that explains why he played with the shit earlier.
Yeah.
Well, and it got that guy away from the other shop worker.
If I was the guy, though, I would have been like, nope. I don't get paid enough.
There's not an amount of overtime that you could pay me to do that. They're like, there's companies you call for this right here. I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
I'm not your guy.
Yep.
Fine. We're not going to walk through this movie. So I want to jump to the one thing I wish to God someone could go back in time and tell Damien Leone, no. And that is to kill our should have been final girl, because she is set up perfectly for it. And to not only not kill her 2/3 of the way through the movie, not to use a goddamn gun.
Yeah. That is super disappointing.
I fucking hate it. And then go reload it and empty it into her face more. I went, that's lazy writing. I'll use a Nate term. You're trying to be edgelord. And it's bullshit. You are the Terrifier. It's not about killing. It's everything leading up to the kill. And that was your girl. You were locked in on her. Your sights were dead on, laser focused. And then you're just like, oh, fuck, I got to shoot her now. And
he realized that she was getting the upper hand too many times, and he was done playing. Damien Leone has said that Art is the kind of killer who will use any weapon he can get his hands on or make. Like, people bitched about Ghostface using a shotgun in Scream 6. That was a weapon of opportunity. It's not like he went in there with a shotgun and blew people away. Art
came in with a gun in his leg, though. Art
I
had the gun ready to go.
Because he doesn't care. He'll use whatever weapon he wants to. And he was done playing.
Why not just kill him then? Then it takes the fun out of the kill. If
he'd been
at
chasing
any
her for a
point
while.
he could have, First off, because it does happen at the end, now that we're supposed to know he's supernatural for some weird reason, then it shouldn't matter if she got the upper hand on you, because you're going to come back anyway. It's okay, she got me, I'll try again next Halloween, or if that's even the lore with him now, I don't know. But it snapped me out of it. Like, all of the shit he went through setting up the elaborate thing to cut the one girl in half, and you're the girl. Nah, I'm done playing. I don't want to play with you anymore. Just blow her head off. And it's like but it's a wrong decision. That's my point. Like, that, to me, it's the wrong decision.
I think if you use the gun to kind of get himself back into the fight, like if the one shot, it didn't kill her, but it, like, it knocked her back and she was out for the count. But the fact that he goes up and pulls the trigger again and nothing happens, then he goes all the way to reload. Like, I wish he pulled, like, as much as weird to say, I wish he just tortured her. Like, I wish there was like more torture with her. Like he, like you said, Charlie, he strings her friend up and does this whole thing. It's like one of the most iconic kills, in modern horror. And
it is.
Our faux final girl just gets shot. Like, I to be honest, I watched that scene too and was like, what? Why are we using a gun? Like, it's just, okay, the one shot shocked me. The rest of it was just like, oh, it's
a disappointment.
I was like, oh, I wish she could have fought back more. I wish even if he left to go reload and he came back, she was gone. And then she somehow comes out of nowhere and fights him again, and then he gets the upper hand and is able to use like his other weapons or whatever. Or even if Victoria shows up while she's still alive and we get a fight between them. The gun was. I think if you used it to a degree, it would have been a lot more effective than what we got in total. Because I was disappointed when she dies, because I thought she was a good final girl, or at least what we thought would be the final girl. But I also respected the kind of weird twist that they did, where it's like, no, the sister's going to be the final girl. So it was weird. I was torn. The gun was just went a little too far. I think it if you're going to kill Tara, do it more creative. Like, do it in a more creative way.
If I was to do it, if I wanted that shock value of I'm going to kill the final girl before anyone realizes that I'm going to switch it, I would eliminate the baby doll lady, which that lady doesn't need to be in this movie whatsoever.
To me, that's a
time filler.
No, I have a theory for something like that.
I'd love to hear your.
Well, no, it goes into the next movie, so I don't want to talk about it. Continue your thought.
Well, she's dead.
No, you don't even know what I'm going to say. Go. It has nothing to do with her.
Okay. Well, you brought it up. I was trying. I told you I would not walk all over and interrupt everybody. I'm trying to be very nice and debatable tonight.
Weird side note, was the woman who played the baby lady also the doctor at the end? Because they looked like they could have been sisters. The doctor who says goodbye to Victoria when she leaves the hospital. They look almost the same.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same person, just for budgetary reasons.
Yeah.
But so what I would have changed, I would have eliminated her altogether. The whole, mom subplot, that is bullshit. Sucking his thumb with shit still on his fucking thumb from writing art. Yeah. But I would have, if you're going to kill Tara, he should have figured out an interesting way to kill her, then wear her skin to terrorize Victoria when she came. It was like when she rushes down thinking that's her sister laying on the ground, which we find out is Art wearing the other lady's clothes. Make it more like she really thought it was Tara, like wearing the same outfit, everything. And then Art pops up, and then you see Tara with her fucking head, face, upper torso, all skinned off. That's a better kill and more. And it means he tortured her. She could have still been kind of alive when he finished cutting the skin off of her. And now that was the one thing that drew the other sister in closer. And then you can redo everything. The Buffalo Bill scene, basically, where he gets to dance around half naked wearing, the upper part of a chick. and hiding in that scene is also where I'm like, Art's acting for the audience, not the victim, because he's doing some weird shit that victim wouldn't even see, because he just knows the camera's on him and he's just doing some weird shit. This comes down to early filmmaker not really knowing what he's trying to do, and he learns later.
He's definitely not a writer. He definitely wasn't a writer, and you could tell. And I know we didn't want to do sequels, but like you could tell even with Terrifier 2, the movie's 2.5 hours. A horror movie should never be that long, and it's because he's not a writer and he didn't know what to cut. He literally like everything he wrote ended up on the screen, and I think we're seeing the early stages here of his writing where it's very minimal.
Yeah,
and
it's minimal,
showcasing
and it's also
his expertise.
It's also, that sounds cool, let's do it. Yeah, that sounds cool, let's do it. We'll figure out how to fit it in later.
Fuck, if you got the money.
I mean, it's indie filmmaking.
Yeah, people are having fun
throwing
making a
shit
movie.
Literally throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
literal shit on the wall. And that's fair. I mean, I'm not here to disparage indie filmmaking. I've seen some bad indie movies. This is not as bad as some of the ones I've seen. It's definitely not my flavor. Like, at the end of the day, I don't get it. I don't understand why he's an icon. I don't see it in this. To me, he's like one of those straight to video 90 movies that would have popped up and just been, lost to time. And then our show would find it later.
Oh,
and
he
be
wasn't
like,
an
hey,
icon
the
until
90s?
2. Yeah. He doesn't become anything until 2, because this movie doesn't really get the recognition until there was an announcement that Terrifier 2 was coming out. People were like, "Oh,
that's
there
fair.
was a first one," and then everyone like us, like pretty much everybody here, all were like, "Oh, well, we got to check it out," because it did not get the eyes on it until way later.
Let's say I've seen 2, and I still stand behind. He's not an icon. Like I've seen that movie. Fantastic Final Girl. He figured out Final Girls whenever he got to part 2. I gave him all the credit.
Sierra's
for that.
Awesome.
And I know that you've got to grow. You've got to figure shit out. You got to do your bad movies. You got to do your good movies. It's just everything was stacked against him as far as me as a fan. It just did not work. I'm literally watching this the second time just so I can get it to watch. And I'm like, is this thing over yet? Nope. Still got 40 minutes. Still got 20 minutes. What's on my phone? Let me look at the trivia. This trivia's stupid. I don't like it. Got all the way done. Jackie's watching it, and she goes, meh. And I'm like, see? She's like, I don't know. It's just, there was no enjoyment even in the second viewing of maybe I'll get something. Maybe I'll understand it now. And I'm still just going, yeah, no, don't get it. Don't understand why people gravitated to this at all. To me, it's a miss.
Because it's fucking scary, and it's hard with as many fucking horror movies as I watch on a weekly basis. It's hard to find something that actually still scares me and shocks me and grosses me out, and these movies do it. So, from my little horror heart, I think it's great.
Look, that's totally understandable. I get it. To me, this movie doesn't even move the needle on scare factor for me. Like I don't like clowns, but I don't count that because I won't watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Poltergeist. I won't watch any of that stuff because I don't want to fucking watch clowns. So that doesn't register. Everything else on this movie, I'm laughing at it, not with it. Does that make sense? Like, it's just like, this is so laughable.
You're doing the opposite I am. I'm laughing with it because I watched this movie in, I think, the way that Leone wants you to watch this movie, and it's for the effects and for art. I've seen, like I said, this is like my second or third time seeing this movie, and I remember watching it the first time and going, whew, this dialogue is freaking rough. Like these people are reading things off of cue cards. I love Catherine Corcoran, who plays Dawn. She would be in like Return to Nukem High, and she's done some small stuff. She works with James A. Janice, who's part of Dead Meat now, and all that. But like, she's actually a good actress, this movie does not showcase that at all. The dialogue is very it's just so wooden, but I'm not watching it for that, especially going into my second and third watch. I'm watching David Howard Thornton's just magical performances art, just the way he can move his mouth and his eyes and the way he walks and the creative kills other than the gun. When Dawn gets cut in half, I laugh because it's so ridiculous, and it's not for the sheer fact of, oh my God, this woman is getting cut in half and we're seeing a lot of it. It's the fact that she is able to scream up until the saw hits her mouth, which wouldn't make any sense. She'd be dead far beyond that. But it's like, why is she still screaming? She's so dead. It's those little things that just made me laugh. It
took 10 seconds with a
rusty
hacksaw.
But it's funny. Like, to me, it was hilarious. Like, that's how I view these movies. They're not scary to me. Like, to be honest, when he starts to saw on her, I'm like, ooh. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, how that starts. It gets under your skin just a little bit. But then it just gets into the ridiculous factor. And I think that's why I enjoy these movies, because I think they're just so beyond ridiculous that they're fun. Like, I have fun. Like, and it's weird to say, but also horror fans are weird. So who cares? Like when you watch a Saw movie, like, that's just messed up. Like, a lot of those Saw movies, they've gotten ridiculous, but they don't have like that character that makes it fun. And Art makes these things fun, even though he's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just having a great time watching him just do the most absurd things. Like, literally him just he literally looks off to the side, sees a tricycle just randomly in the corner. And he's like, I'm just going to ride this around for a couple minutes. And I'm just like, you know what? That fits. It's kind of an homage to Billy the Puppet from Saw. Which I don't think a lot of people got the hint for, but it's those little things that just made me laugh. And it's not scary. Like, to be honest, this movie should be scary based on the fact that it could happen. Not the supernatural part of it, but like, why are we in this neighborhood? Where was this party, by the way? What, they're partying in like the most broken down areas of whatever city they're in. No,
Who
thank
is
you.
on the radio that has their finger on the pulse of everything happening within 5 minutes? Like, they're walking.
They're killed. Like, didn't that just happen?
Literally. Did that not just like, how far did you walk to get pizza from your broke down car?
The reporters around the corner. Oh shit!
Yeah.
You see that? Gotta report it.
And I know it's his way to give some exposition. Like it's some weird clown guys running around. I'm like, who the fuck would know?
Yeah. My
no
favorite's
one knows.
My favorite's the 911 operator when that mic guy's calling. It's like, okay, where are you? What's the state of your injuries? What did they look like? Like, he's just like, can you just come? Like, why is this taking so long?
They do not want to be on that phone call at all. It's like, what? God, another one. Jesus Christ. This. Always a full moon. Always every Halloween we get
Halloween.
These
You get all the weirdos calling 911, pranking it.
And honestly, if it wasn't for them dressed up in a pumpkin, I had no idea this was Halloween. You know, the head,
especially because no one else is dressed up. There's nobody else in the movie, so
no one.
You get the. Yeah, I feel like that's just a minor nitpick. Like, I'm not gonna that never bothers me. So
it's just the little things of. If you're a horror fan, like I'm not a filmmaker, but I can sit here and go, I wouldn't do that. No, well, why were you doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Why you're doing that? Stop it. Do this a little bit better. Stop all that shit. Do this over here. Like, that's how I feel watching this movie, of just going, this feels elementary. Like, you're still coloring outside the lines. And there's a bunch of people that are like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, no, he didn't stay in the lines. This is bullshit.
But to an extent, Charlie, you do this with a lot of movies. Like, you try to fix a ton of movies we review and watch. So it's...
I did it to
you just try to
fix
this one. Yeah, you just try to fix this one even more so. Sometimes they just don't need fixed. RoboCop 2 doesn't need fixed at the end of the day.
It doesn't. it doesn't. There's always hindsight's 2020, and I'm sure Damien Leone has done that, and he's even admitted it.
Yeah, it was a learning experience. He's mentioned.
If I had to do it over again, I think more or less I just get so irritated at everyone just fawning over this character and these movies. And I've seen part 2, and I'm just like, you ain't won me over. Like, this is actually
it's
worse
just not for you, dude. Like that's I think
it's
that's
really
just
not.
That's the sheer. I think that's the thing. Is like I get it because like I'm that way sometimes with certain franchises. I'm like,
Hulk
to be
Hogan.
honest, yeah, that's for different reasons. But for instance, like, and I've admitted to it, I like the Friday the 13th movies, but I don't love them like so many people in the horror community love him. I'm like, I watch the movies and I've seen the movie. We cover them. It's like they're entertaining, but like I would rather watch any of the other horror franchises over Friday the 13th. I'd rather watch Scream. I'd rather watch Child's Play. I'd rather watch Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street. Like Friday the 13th is like close to the bottom for me because it's just. I guess if I need to turn my brain off and not give a crap, I'm just going to throw a Friday the 13th. And I think that I feel that's where Terrifier can kind of fall in. Like I like Terrifier more than I like Friday the 13th. I would rather watch these movies than watch like some of the Friday the 13th.
That's fair.
Spicy Pete. You got any
talking about
comment
you
on that?
Takes Manhattan.
Don't you dare disparage Takes Manhattan.
I mean, it's fun, but it's not one of the best. No, 7's the best.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Matt Parker, thanks for coming on to the show tonight.
Hey, I think it's a good time for a commercial.
I think. Oh yeah, you're right. There we go.
You're watching the USA Network.
All right, Paul. So I think it's time we, made a trailer.
Do we have to?
Like, people keep asking, so we're gonna deliver.
Well, what are we supposed to do in this damn trailer?
We're just gonna talk about shit we do here. We theme our months, right? Like, what do we?
I mean, I know we've done stuff like musicals and animation month and creature features, all sorts of stuff, but is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's something kind of like that. That I'm probably gonna sit there and tell people, we're on all social medias. We're on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and it's all under Flicks and Friends podcast.
Yeah, I guess so. If they're not tired of hearing that by now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that'll work. Should we press record?
Yeah, let's press record right now.
Just when you thought you were safe, the terror continues with another chilly tale tonight on USA Network's Saturday Night Bears.
Handmaid's Tale.
See, Dustin, I still love you. I played
infuriates
your commercial.
me.
Wait, there was a commercial?
There was. We were all talking about random stuff there. It was funny. We're all going to ignore everything Parker just said, so it's all right.
Listen, I love to be controversial, okay?
Yeah,
same. That's why I picked this movie.
Oh, look, and so in all reality, this is why I never wanted to cover this movie, because I knew this is how I would be at the time. This is how Nate was going to be. You would have just had two.
I'm sorry, Nate. I love you, but I'm glad you didn't show up.
We would have just been bitching the entire time, and Nate yelling edgelord for 15 minutes, and we knew that's what the episode was going to be. Like, this is better if we had to do it.
Sometimes people love these type of episodes. Like I feel like a lot of people are afraid to. Yeah, I feel like people are afraid to be critical of movies. Like I have been plenty critical of movies that we've covered, and to be honest, sometimes people eat that shit up. They'll get a lot of people that'll complain about, well, why do you even bother watching it? It's like, because I wanted to, and then I want to talk about it. And sometimes that's just how it works. Like, we're all friends. We're just here chatting about a movie, and we're not all going to be on the same page. And Charlie's issues, and Anna's trying to defend the issues, but it's like we're all going to have different opinions, and
the difference is
that's the
Anna
joy
and
of it
I
all.
aren't attacking each other
exactly
for our thoughts on it.
Exactly.
And that's where I'm trying not to attack people for liking this. I can question that. I can be like,
yeah.
why?
I mean, I see that all the time from people. It's just like, why do people like this franchise so much?
I look at Pete all the time, and I'm just like, why?
Why do you like this? Why are you the way you are, Pete?
Why did you bring this? What is wrong with you? So, but and that was the dance I knew I was coming into. We've had I'll tell you what, it's been way more fun in our Slack chat, just hyping this episode up to each other.
Dude.
Me and Anna doing gifts back and forth of just all the, like, we were preparing for battle.
Wild this weekend. I was at a wedding and did not have very good internet access. I get to somewhere where I do have internet access, and I think my phone exploded. It was so hot from the notifications. Bing, bing, bing.
Well, y'all killed my phone the other day at work. You guys were going back and forth about something. Dustin, Nate, and Anna.
At one point, I looked at my phone. I had 35 new messages. I was like, "What the fuck are they talking?"
I had over 1,000 from this week.
Chatty.
So so at the end of the day, I'm not upset we're covering this.
Okay,
also, at the end of the day, I got to give the people what they're coming here to hear. Charlie bitching about the Terrifier movies. And I don't want to disappoint people because I am going to bitch about it because it's not for me.
That's fair,
I don't understand it. And bravo to everyone that does. And I can sit here and I can pinpoint every little thing I hate and wish they would fix. I don't really like Victoria's prosthetic at the beginning of the movie. It looks like they just took fucking Play-Doh and shoved it on
paper
her face.
mache, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. When I first started watching the movie the first time, I went, "Oh God, this is independent." And then I saw art, and I was like, "Okay, this is a little bit better."
All of it went into art and the
gore,
and the gore effects.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've heard everyone, like, before I watched the movie, they all talked about the saw kill. Cutting the girl in half. Me and Nate interviewed Jim Ojala, who's done God knows how many horror movie special effects. He did Crabs, which, Pete, we all love that movie. We were talking to him about that, and he goes, "I'll tell you something, guys. Everybody talks about how awesome it was to cut a girl directly in half. We did it. We did it on a table saw and cut an entire body straight down the middle. And the camera film fucked up, and we weren't set up to shoot it again, and we couldn't." He goes, "We beat them by like 2 years, and now they get all the praise of the first people to cut a girl in half. We did it, but the film fucked up." And this is my other thing. Like, I watch that and I go, okay, it's bloody, it's gory, it's a little twisted. I've seen it done better, though, not in this direct way, but the chick that gets it in Hostel 2, in the bloodbath scene,
with a drainer or whatever,
that is masterful. That is, oh my God, this is torture and everything. This is, look at me, I'm cutting that girl in half. Like, I was waiting for a music to start playing, like just anything goofy. And Parker, you nailed it. She's screaming until he got to her fucking throat. Like, about midsection, she'd have been done. Like, you're not making any noise anymore. Also, why rip the panties off? You didn't show us anything. That was just a little bit over the top, even for me, when I'm like, you're gonna rip panties off, go full frontal. Like, fuck it. Well, you're already here.
Right, we're already there.
I'm not offended that she's naked. And the actress is obviously here for it. Why even go through that? Or just leave the panties on and cut through her. Like, I don't. And your friend Tara would be losing her goddamn mind watching that, and she's not. She's struggling. She's trying to get away,
but it's not what you would think.
It's not believe. Like you said, they're very wooden the way they're acting in this. I'm not believing she's witnessing her best friend be mutilated in front of her and having to witness it, listen to it, everything. Like, Art should have got halfway through and then walked over and checked to see if Tara was okay. Like, pat her on the head, maybe have a glass of water to hand her. Weird shit. Then go back and just kind of look at her and go, hold his hand out. Like, you okay now? We okay? And then keep cutting through the girl. Like, that would have been some funny fucked up shit to do. And it wouldn't have cost you any more money except a glass of water. I mean, let's be honest. Just a little more. But this is Charlie doing his Charlie thing. I fix things a little bit better. It would have made it way more fun.
I found a piece of trivia that made me smile, and it says the night they were going to shoot that scene, Damien Leone said to the actress, "Are you ready to make horror movie history?" At that time, she dismissed it, thinking it was just going to be another gratuitous and gory death scene.
I think people talked about it, so I can't deny that for somehow it's now there in the history books.
It is.
But it's not like, it wasn't shocking to me. Like,
it shocked the shit out of me the first time I watched it, and Marley was in the room with me. I was like, don't look. I was like, don't
run
look.
away.
Whatever you do. Even then,
no,
that
child, no, this isn't for your eyes, child.
she had her tablet. She went.
It starts casting onto the tablet, so it's like right up against her face, watching it happen.
Oh no!
Yeah, just don't bring any pictures of her in this position, or because she's been nude in other movies, and I guess one of her things was that people would go to conventions wanting her or asking her to sign pictures of her nude, and she's like, no. Like that was for a movie. Like it's not. I'm not. No. Like it's just weird now. Like
I swear sometimes I feel like they forget there's a pause button. Like, it's only 5 seconds of nudity. No, ma'am. That is not 5 seconds of nudity. That could be 5 hours if a person wants it to be. You know, listen to Pete over there. He goes, "You ain't lying." I got a couple of VHSs that bump.
Fun fact is that Catherine Corcoran and I can't remember the actress who played Tara. They're actually best friends. Yeah, they're actually best friends in real life. They actually became best friends like after they did this movie together. Yeah.
I like Tara as a character. Like I was buying her as a final girl. I really was.
She was the only one realistically reacting to was happening around her.
Jenna
except for watching her friend die. Yeah.
Jenna Cannell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was locked in on her. So he got that right. And I'm not 100% mad that he wanted to M. Night Shyamalan us or some shit. I don't know.
No, he did. He pulled the Psycho. He pulled the Psycho. The shower scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, I guess you could say
and
that.
by no means am I comparing him to Hitchcock. Please do not misconstrue those words. He's not that good. Sorry, Mr.
You
Leone.
heard it here, everybody. Damien Leone is the next Alfred Hitchcock.
Not
signed
quite.
Anna from Give Me Back My Action Horror Movies.
I would have burnt the Wheel of Pain at that point. It would have been like that.
No more.
Not today. Been on fire. Ooh, maybe our finale it'll be on fire.
But he
spin while on fire.
He did subvert our expectations. We did go into this thinking that Tara was going to be our final girl, and then she just gets offed, and that really did surprise me. In that, not to rehash that, but I think that he went against the grain by doing that.
Yeah, I wish he'd have done it differently. We won't beat to death the gun, but
right,
I really wish he'd have done it differently. And then there's times we haven't even talked about, like, he kind of does we need more kills. Let's just have random guys show up. And I'm like, okay, that happens in a lot of horror movies. But then one guy, I'm just going to hit him with a hammer. I'm like, really? Like that? He's like sneaking up the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't know I'm here. Boom, bang on the head, walks away. I'm like, that's not what art would do. From what I'm learning, that's not a Terrifier. Be fucked up. Do something weird. Go find a tool.
We needed somebody to come back and help.
Go get that hacksaw.
Well, cut a limb off. He could still help when his arms cut off or something. We don't even get to see him kill the baby doll lady. And it's just like, that was another thing that I felt like that was just a time filler. Like, we need something, anything. Oh, let's put another kill. They find a vagrant that's living in here, and for some reason, she believes her doll is real.
Like I said, I have an idea for lore for that. We can talk about it off air.
All right, we'll talk about that off air. And so
hear it.
We get Victoria that comes in, which is fine. She's our new final girl. She gets out of the building and goes back in the building.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, you escaped. Where are you going?
The truck was right. The truck was right there.
It's not even getting the truck. Just run down the road. Just run.
Even if you're Discord, you don't know where you are. Oh wait, that's a truck. How'd it get in here? Oh, I'm outside. Run. Like, no, she literally right back into the same, like you would have seen the door you just went through. Like, didn't I just go that way? No. Oh my God. Like, I don't mind making silly horror tropes, but I hate making the people stupid when shit happens, when the shit's hitting the fan. Scream has already touched on that. It's already told you can break those rules. It's okay if your person is smart, and they can still die at the end, but they can still die with some dignity that you didn't run back in the fucking building and get killed. I'm sorry. I'm talking way too much on a movie that I should be like Nate during RRR and just be like, I don't like this fucking movie. I don't got nothing to say about this. You're stupid Pete. I hate India now for some reason. I don't have an entire country. Where's Damien Leone from? I'm going to hate that country now.
He's from Jersey.
I do hate Jersey. You didn't even make it hard for me, Anna. I hate Jersey. Sorry to all our Jersey listeners.
See, now you're pissing off people from whole states. You're in our country now. So I did find another little trivia fact, because I haven't really looked up a whole bunch of trivia for this movie except like watching the kill count. But one thing, I guess Damien Leone has been called misogynistic quite a bit because of these movies. And he said in April 2023, I get constantly accused of being misogynistic. Of course, today it's inevitable. What really shocked me was being called transphobic, because in this scene, in this movie, he scalps the lady, the baby lady, and puts her hair on and her breasts actually, and starts doing like a Silence of the Lambs kind of dance.
Yeah, Buffalo Bill dance.
Exactly, Buffalo Bill. So he was called transphobic because of that. It makes me laugh because it couldn't be any further away from what I am, raised by all women and everything. It's so funny to me. I think I'm just so comfortable because I was raised by all women that I don't think about those things when I'm doing it. I don't think I'm offending. I'm not trying to offend. So there's really nothing I'm afraid to show.
There's nothing transphobic about that. It's the shock value of, you think I'm, again, I know I just bitched about it. He could have done it better, but she thought it was her sister. She saw a woman laying there partially covered. Mm-hmm. And then a shock factor for the audiences aren't wearing the woman's upper torso. Like, he didn't just put a wig on and go, I'm a lady. He fucking put her flesh on and ran around. There's nothing transphobic about that. Like, it never even crossed my mind.
Me either. Like, I was just shocked. Like, it was the shock factor of, oh shit, that's art. That's so you know.
Parker's laughing his ass off during it. I mean, I don't understand why anyone would have any issue. He's like, don't let me in this, Charlie. Don't you dare let me in this. I was laughing my ass off, though. It was hilarious. And that's what it was. I hate when people put controversy where there is no controversy.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that.
I agree.
You can have all your, morals and qualms and shit that you want to stand behind, but don't find something and then put your own spin on it when it's not fucking there. Stop it.
100%.
That didn't even cross my mind when that scene happens. Is like,
no,
same.
The fact that, this is going to offend, like, the trans community. It's like, that's not what the scene is. It's as Charlie is saying, it's a disguise, but also, art is just, he's being a clown. He's trying to be funny. Like, I love when he just walks around. He's constantly flipping the hair.
Flipping his
doing clown shit.
Yo, he's hanging dong. Like, he's all in it, man.
Yeah.
He's proud. He's got big shoes to fill. But, it's also it's an homage to Sleepaway Camp. Obviously, I mean, that's what he's doing. Is all these little, like, I'm paying homage to the people I watched.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he'd have watched them a few more times. He could have made a better movie, but he has at least watched a couple of horror movies. I love Pete. Pete's just over here like, oh,
he's just here for the ride, man. He's just
you card you.
Pete, lead us into this ending. What did you think about how the story wrapped up? I know there's not too much going on, but he did take us in a weird direction at the end.
You guys did. Maybe I don't remember it then, because they have a fight and he
so bad he
himself.
forgot.
There you go. That's
he hits it with a truck.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
The truck she should have took.
And he starts eating her
exactly.
Part of the problem with this movie, it's not. I don't think it's very memorable at times. Like, you see the big downbeats, the characters. You don't care about any of the characters. There's no development there, and I didn't know anybody's name but Art.
Right,
that's fair.
There's you proved a point right there.
And when the sister came in because she was studying or something and tried to rescue her, and Art reveals that he's wearing baby lady's skin, and there's a gap in why there's a chase, I guess. Man, I'm sorry.
The cops show up and then Art shoots himself to get
watch
them
it a week ago.
Right. And you were at a wedding, so God knows how much alcohol you consumed.
He's at least alive, we think.
He's kicking.
He's really well preserved.
I'm not drinking tonight. It might be part of the problem.
So after he realizes that he's caught and the cops show up, I think in that moment he makes the decision that it's going to be easier to come back from the dead in a body bag than it is to break out of a jail cell with a bunch of cops around. Even though, yeah. And so I think ultimately that's why he kills himself. But also at that moment too, he knows he's going to come back, but we as the audience don't know he's going to. So then even when they're at the morgue and like apparently there's been a lot of murders. I guess it's all because of Art now that I say that out loud. But the cop's like, oh, I'm going to, or the
coroner,
what's the mortician? Yeah. It's like, coroner. Well, I guess I'll put on a 7th pot of coffee.
Damn,
just
7?
That like really kind of dry humor that doesn't really work. Like going back to the writing, it's not the best. And he even makes a comment. There's like food laying around, and the woman's like, "How can you eat while you do this job?" And he's like, "Once you've seen a 7-month-old put in a microwave, everything else is just."
He's not wrong. I mean,
nothing.
To me,
he's not. I did like that. It was awful to even think about or to even say in a movie, but when you put it like
I'm surprised
that,
he wasn't
everything
eating.
else kind of pales in
He
comparison.
wasn't eating during the scene because every coroner in a horror movie eats.
Yeah.
I know.
But he does tell him to bring him
like,
a
we've done this for a long time.
He's like, hey, can you guys bring me back something?
Because that's what she says. How can you eat around this? Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then but whenever he unzips that bag too, that look Art's got on his face is creepy.
Part of his face
as
is missing
shit.
also, isn't it? Still, is that he
blew
it off?
Blew
right,
its dome off. I think
he fight clubbed himself.
So if I go back again, and this is kind of the main reason I didn't want to bring up any of the other things, because when I watch this, treating it as if it's a bubble, I'm watching this movie for the first time. That happens, and I went, "Oh, fuck you!" Now he's supernatural. Now there's a whole nother level. Now we can retcon everything that is goofy that happened in this movie and blame it on him being supernatural. And I straight up, first time, I even messaged J-Man going, "The fuck is this ending?" And he goes, "I know." I'm like, this was a middle finger to the audience of, he's supernatural, bitches, shut up. And it's like, God damn it.
So were all of our other horror icons that we love and know so well. They all fucking come back. That's the point of it.
Jason
he can come back for
was
more.
set up to come back because he was a child in the first one, because it was Mrs. Voorhees who never came back. So she died, she's dead. But Jason is alluded to coming back because he's the kid at the end. Maybe it's a dream, maybe it's a not. So it's been established. Freddy's a dream demon. How do you kill a dream demon? Michael Myers is probably the other one that I wish had died. Halloween's my lowest franchise. I like Parker's Friday 13th. The Halloween franchise is the lowest for me. It really should have ended at 1. I agree with John Carpenter. Part 2 is okay, maybe I can believe this. Everything after. I love part 3 because it's not Halloween. I
Where's that fart sound? Can you play that real quick?
But everything, like, you know, the curse and the, you know, all, like, no, I don't like those at all. That's a franchise that should have.
Yeah, that one's dumb.
They should have
Jason
died.
and Michael are pretty even for me. They're both just like, eh.
But, you know, Chucky's a possessed doll. How does he die? He's a doll. It's the soul can go into another doll. I can buy that. Freddy's a demon. I can buy that. You know, most Leprechaun, he's a fucking mystical creature. I can buy that. Art the
He's
Clown,
also a different leprechaun in every movie.
True. I think Art the Clown is a demon.
Well, they've now set it up that way, but when the movie starts, it's a dude putting on makeup as a serial killer going out doing fucked up shit. And that's how I watched the first movie, going, this guy's fucked up. Okay, this guy's, oh, god damn it, now he's supernatural. I don't like this.
I think he signed some deal.
But even me not taking into account the other movies, the first time I watched it, I'm like, okay, well, it's just every other slasher horror movie trope. He's supernatural. Now, how is he supernatural? Why? What happened? Then I can play on my own thoughts of why is he like this kind of thing. And not even taking into account anything we've learned in the other movies.
It's real lucky that he did get a sequel, or this movie would just kind of just hang there. There would be no resolution.
It would have died.
It would have died. When you have, if you're making a trilogy or a long series, you can tell that long form story. But with Terrifier, if they had no original intention of making a sequel, and then all of a sudden, poof, you're just leaving the audience with all these questions. There was no question what Freddy was in the first movie. There's no question what Jason was in the first film. Even with Texas Chainsaw, it was just crazy people in the woods, and they didn't all die. None of them.
Yeah,
died,
they did.
Right?
None of them died. I mean, so of course they're going to be in a sequel.
Hellraiser, you know, all the icons. Phantasm. He was destroyed at the end, but he's actually a demon. Of course, it's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
How do you destroy something that's already dead?
Michael Myers is agreed. Charlie, that's Michael Myers is the one that kind of skirts that, walks that razor edge. What are you?
I feel like he steps on one side of the edge and then someone jerks him back to the other side of the edge.
He's already Jason in episode 6, right?
Right.
He's already zombie Jason.
I mean, and I get it. If you're into it and you're fine with it, that's totally fair. I'm just telling you the first time, never knowing anything about this, I took it as a slap in the face. I just went, oh wow, so you just tried to fix everything I had issue with because now he's supernatural. Like now, it's automatically going to make people ask, well, how is he supernatural?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't honestly don't care. And as much as I said I wasn't going to talk about it, they don't fucking answer it in part 2 either. So,
and guess what? They don't answer it in part 3 either, but they're going to answer it in part 4. They touch on it in part 3. Some stuff is mentioned that gives us little nuggets about, I see.
Yeah,
I think
you
I
gotta
know
get
what's
to part
happened
4
now.
to tell me his backstory.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't.
I am a whore for lore. I love this stuff. I don't give a fuck. I want it.
I love Anna's enthusiasm.
I do too.
God damn it! I want it all.
Anna. I feel it. I'm in the same way. I'm like, I always hear people like, we listen to Spoils of Horror, and I think they ended up covering Terrifier 2, and one of the things that Steven said was like, I don't want to know the backstory of horror. I don't want to know what he is. I just enjoy what he's doing. I don't need to know
that's fair.
The deeper root. And I'm sitting there listening going, but I do. Like, I want to know. I want to know where this motherfucker comes from.
I'd rather
I'm the same way.
Have my tropey horror ending where he's on the coroner's table, the camera's panning out, the music gets ominous, and a little movement happens in the bag and credits roll. Don't do the fake fucking lightning everywhere. It's alive.
That's right. All the lights went out in the corners.
Light flickers.
He's just standing there.
That's when he came back to life. That's when his soul entered his.
And that's my I'm done with you. And because I'm done with it, I say we get into the things. What do y'all say?
Sure.
Things.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Here comes that lightning.
Yep. Where's Art?
I didn't look it up.
It's kind of, I mean, 6.
I could probably count real
figured
quick.
y'all could, so that's why I didn't look it up. I was done looking at Terrif.
Are you
I
fucking
really
me?
didn't.
2 girls,
I went
2
I'm
pizza
done
shop
looking.
workers, and 2 maintenance workers. 6.
6? I think it's 6. Yeah.
Oh no,
2, 4,
and
6.
the
cat
the
lady.
news
Oh, cat lady.
Oh, cat lady and news lady.
7.
7.
8.
News
8.
lady. 8. All right.
8.
Yeah, the lady from the interview that Victoria kills.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That counts.
Yep. 8.
She was in All Hallows
The
Eve.
reporter was.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Mhm.
She gets to
ended that
see a real
storyline.
gruesome art mutilation.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
All right, so 8. See, I did my job perfectly. Divided this. Yep.
Slacker.
I don't care. All right, pick our favorite.
What do you think? Zombie kill of the week?
You're driving, Anna. You're driving.
Who's
you
going
pick.
first?
You tell us.
Oh, you took over the wheel as you always do, and you're like, let's do the
Yeah,
thing.
I let
You do
let
that at the
into
end.
it. I was like, let's do the things.
You do that.
Okay,
at the
do you
end,
want
though.
me to? I'll pick. I
okay.
just.
Charlie, you know how you
no,
fix all
I
that?
can
You
do
just
it.
don't let your co-host do anything.
You got a good point.
You do it all, Parker. Yeah, that's true. Parker, what's your favorite kill?
I mean, to be honest, I would have to say the cutting Dawn in half because it's just so iconic. But to be honest, I really love the pizza guy jack-o'-lantern head. You don't see him get killed, but I love the after, like the dude cleaning the shit out of the bathroom and he comes out and he sees it. I think it's a great thing. Because to be honest, like all the kills are kind of just like they're cool, but some of them like he just does off screen. I was kind of disappointed. Like I wanted to see this dude getting like killed. Like I would have loved if the camera was like showing the dude clean the shit and then it kind of like pans out and the dude's like secretly getting like choked out or whatever from Art and doing his thing.
Even just Art with his
Right,
back turned
in the corner.
and you just see him doing something. Like make it look like he's making a pizza. Like that's what we think he's over there doing. And then the guy comes out and there's a fucking head sitting right there, which also the head was CG. So
Yeah, they did. They added that in post.
But yeah, I mean, Dawn's kill.
It don't fucking.
I mean,
look
Dawn's
like
kill is just so iconic, and it's like it's not the best to come out of this franchise, but I mean, it's the one that people remembered, and I think the effects work is done really well. And to be honest, the other ones are kind of just basic stuff. You have like a head stomp. You have the other guy just randomly shows up and gets his head ripped off. It's like they're cool, but like Dawn's is like that's the one you remember the most.
Yeah, and that's kind of a running theme with all of these movies.
Yeah,
the one
there's like there's like great kills in them, but there's one. There's that kill. Yeah. And this one is definitely the Dawn one. Pete, what about you?
I like it when he's eating that gal's face. I mean, she's not dead, but the cops come in and he's filleting her face of skin and then eating it. Joyfully eating it.
That's gross.
I know it's not really a death, but that was gnarly, man. That was really cool.
He would have had he not been stopped by the cops. He would have finished. I'll allow it. Charlie, what's your favorite?
You sure you don't want to go before me?
You have to pick.
Go before me.
Oh God, I guess. Well, I mean, I would be remiss not to not to say it was Dawn. Like it is the kill. I think it's the spectacle, and I think it's awesome.
People can't see this, but she flips me the bird every time I hit the fart noise. It's hilarious.
Oh, I'm sweating. I've been laughing so hard. Charlie, lay it on us. What were you going to say?
The only kill that matters, the only kill that elicited any kind of joy from Charlie, the only thing I was looking forward to and didn't know I wanted it was when the fucking clown shot his own fucking head off. Because anytime a clown dies, Charlie cheers!
The world's smallest violin. Let's rate this bitch.
Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back.
We'll be talking about my Jason X, Parker. Don't be talking about my Jason X.
I love Jason X. Listen, we're not going to get into it, okay?
Good call.
Okay, Parker, our guest, thank you for joining for this chaos.
Absolutely.
What do you rate Terrifier?
So, as much as I enjoy it, it's definitely not one I go back to because it's not one that elicits a rewatch as often as maybe the others, but I would say it's above average for me. So I would give it a 6 out of 10. It's
very nice.
It's like I said, I enjoy it for what it is, especially after multiple rewatches, and I think it's not at 50%. It's slightly above it. So
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Pete, what you think?
I did not enjoy watching this, but much like Parker, this isn't one that I'm going to go back to often, especially the sequels. They're just too goddamn long. I will bitch about that. So I'm going to give... That was entertaining. That's entertainment.
I'm just kidding. Mr. Picks long movies.
I also will not go back to RRR very often. It's too fucking long. This is a dealer's choice. You, my friends who are listening to this, are an adult. You can choose whether or not to watch this. This is a 5. I'm not going to give it any shit, and I'm not going to give it too much praise. The gore is delightful. Art's performance is wonderful. And just for those factors, I would say go give it a watch once, and then see if this is your bag. But yeah, I'm going to give it a 5.
Oh yeah, I'll take it. Charlie, what do you rate Terrifier?
This is what everyone's been waiting for right here.
I think I know what it is.
Who used my button? Get off my button.
Thanks, Pete. You got my back, dude.
I make no bones about this. I mean, if anyone watched the Instagram reel of when this was picked, you can kind of guess
it was wonderful.
where I'm at on this. And I gotta give the people what they want. So, Pete, guess what, brother?
Is it thirst?
There is no longer a negative thirst. From henceforth,
heretofore,
everything really, really fucking bad will be negative Terrifier. Fuck this movie. I will never watch this movie again. I was bored out of my mind on the second going. David Howard Thornton is the only redeeming factor, but that's not enough to save this movie. It's trash. It belongs in his trash bag. When he reaches in, he should pull out a copy of Terrifier. Covered in shit. I said I was going to shit all over this movie like Art shit all over that bathroom. It's going to say, Charlie was here, and says, negative Terrifier. That's my rating.
That's you, Anna. You're up.
You still need to at least watch the third one. You got to at least watch the third one and see if your mind's changed.
Farts are funny. Farts are funny.
They are. That's the perfect fart sound.
I know. I didn't want it too gross. I was like, I just need something very... And I love it that when I click it, there's a delay. So it's not immediately when I click it. So I have to time it with you all before it goes. And it's been perfect this entire episode. Anna, what are you ranking this fucking movie?
Oh, God. No, not because this movie's bad or anything. Yeah, I totally agree with Parker. This is a 6 out of 10. I think everything he said is exactly how I'm feeling. I don't think it's mid. I think it's a little bit better. This movie and this whole franchise is not for everyone. It is very either you love it or you hate it. And if you love it, I mean, check them out and keep watching them at least. And if you don't like them, well, looks like Charlie, you don't have to watch it ever again.
I don't.
But I do respect the hell out of it for doing what it did as an independent film and how to see how it's grown into what it is. I think is really fucking awesome.
Fair enough. Well, I think there was one big burning question that's left at the end of this episode. Anna, are we still friends?
Oh, Jesus.
Aw.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I thought you were
She was so worried. No, I'm off now. We're done talking about Terrifier. We ain't got to worry about it ever again.
Oh, we are absolutely still friends.
That's all that mattered at the end of this. Pete, it's okay. Parker, Hulk Hogan. All right. Well, that was episode 2. Or no, wait. That was episode 1. Well, we already did the 1. That's what threw me off. This is episode 1 of Month of Chaos with the Wheel of Pain. And damn that it didn't live up to its fucking name. Whoo! So once again, we are going to spin the wheel afterwards. So we are not going to tell you what it is. You have to be following us over on Instagram at Give Me Back My Horror Movies Instagram, Give Me Back My Action Movies Instagram. Also at Nerd at the Movies, which is Anna, which bridges all of the shows, her shows at Barron's. So you need to be following any and all of those. You also need to be following Dissect That Film. Yes. Parker, my friend, where can everyone else find you aside from Instagram?
We're on pretty much every social media app out there. We're either Dissect That Film or Dissect That Film Pod.
Grinder.
Probably.
Maybe one day.
I'm sure Dan put you guys on it. Yeah.
Probably. I don't know what he does.
Go listen to their Young Gary episode.
Sponsored ads.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes, please listen to the Monster Zone. People, listen to the Monster Zone. It's a good show.
It is a good show.
It is.
You can find us on YouTube. Just type in Dissect That Film and you'll find something with our name attached to it.
That's right.
Yep.
What do you got coming out over at Dissect That Film? What are you guys doing right now? This is coming out. This is all June. This will be first week of June.
So currently, our episode on 1985's Weird Science will be out
fun
with our good friend Tony from Hack the Movies.
Chet's an asshole, man.
And then the episode, the episode coming up will be on Friday the 13th part. Oh no, never mind. I lied. It's on Tremors. It'll be our Tremors episode.
Mix those two up, sir?
Because I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out recordings and what we've done and trying to look ahead. I forgot the Weird Science episode's last episode of May, and then next week is June. So yeah, that'll be our Jaws clone month. So we're covering movies that are based on Jaws because we're celebrating its 50th anniversary. Yeah. So
Tremors is definitely a Jaws.
Yes, it's Jaws in the sand. So that's
Grizzly.
What we're talking
Jaws
about.
in the woods.
Yeah, so, Grizzlies, Jaws in the Woods.
Yeah.
Bucket of Chum just did that one. Everybody should be listening to Bucket of Chum. Check out his Grizzly episode. But yeah, Parker puts on some fantastic stuff. We've all been on the show multiple times. I think Anna and I almost became co-hosts at the beginning of the year. We were on there so much. But yeah, we love going over there, and I caused Parker a lot of pain in his Discord. So yeah, we have a ton of fun. Parker, it was awesome having you come on here. Anna needed the backup.
Thank you, Parker.
Thank you.
Even
this
though
was awesome.
I still it didn't work. I didn't like this movie. I didn't like it.
Hey, we're giving the listeners gold, you guys.
Oh, it's all gold. All gold. All right. So everybody, please be checking us out on Instagram to catch what the next movie for Month of Chaos will be. It will be an action pick, and I'm nervous. So that's all we'll leave it as. Thank y'all so much for listening, and we'll see y'all next week. I did have something prepared. Damon Leone, this is for you and for you alone.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.